Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Please join us tonight as we talk to TikTok sensation Brother Rob, who used to be a Pentecostal pastor who converted to Islam. And please stay with us till the end as we will talk about how to handle conversations with the Haram police.
I got something to say.
Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, wa salatu wa salam ala nabihi Muhammadin wa alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. All praise and thanks belong to Allah, Lord of the worlds. We send salutations and prayers and peace upon our Prophet Muhammad, sallallahu wa salam, upon his family and upon the companions. Ameen. So I'm your host, Abdul Rashid from New York, and my co-host and partner in crime is Rashid. Assalamu alaikum, Rashid from Sacramento, California. So today we have a special guest. We're going to do a convert story today on the podcast, and we have a special guest, Robert Westmoreland. So I came across Brother Robert on TikTok. Brother Robert he converted to Islam back in June 27, 2023, this year, after a bout of illness, and was miraculously healed after praying into Hajj for 4 days. He's a former Pentecostal pastor turned ex-Babalo. His testimony has reached over 2 million people, inspiring many to come into the fold of Islam. He is based in Minnesota. He's a member of a thriving Islamic community there in Minnesota. He has a bachelor's of science from Georgia Gannett College. He's a nurse and a healthcare professional, administrator by profession. He's the father of 4 children, one who recently passed away. And he's also the co-host of Coffee and Islam on TikTok. Welcome, Brother Robert.
Wa alaikum salam, brother. Thank you for having me.
I see we got a smart one on the table today.
So we're gonna do the brother's convert story. So the big question is, Brother Robert, what made you convert to Islam?
I didn't want to convert to Islam or revert to Islam at all. I thought it was the Assalamu alaikum people. And I was quite fine over in voodoo, doing my voodoo. And so what caused was I was watching a TikToker by the name of Amina Roche, and this was during Ramadan of this year. She was saying how I forgot the name of the event that happens at night where she was praying and she did tahajjud. And I was like, I had got sick. My daughter had died daughter died in March of stage 4 cancer. And I was really dealing with a really bad sickness, which I just found out, which I was diagnosed with yesterday. So I'll get into that in a few minutes. And so my white blood cells were very low, and I was in the hospital where I was a nurse at, in the intensive care unit for 4 days. And so I said, well, I'm here. I don't have nothing else to do. Let me try this Tajahoon. I didn't know how to pronounce it right. Tajahoon.
Tajahoon. That's funny.
Let me try this. So I looked up everything. I found Dr. Tamara Gray and some other people. Okay, I don't even know what a raka is or a rocket is. And let me try this. So I would go down.
Tajahoon, a rocket.
Tajahoon, a rocket. I was like, I don't know what this Assalamu alaikum stuff is, but I'm going to try this out today. So I went down to the hospital chapel. I asked my colleagues, I said, listen, I know I'm sick. I know I'm in grave danger. My white blood cells are literally down to 0 white blood cells in my body. And give me a mask. Let me go down to the chapel and let me pray. That's the least I could do. And so they spoke to my director. They said, let him go. If he's not going to make it, then let him do what he has to do. And so I tried. So I did for the first night. I did my 2 rakas, and I was like, okay, Allah, whoever you are, this is what's going on. I need this, and that. And I had this book on duas for success. And so I did the duas, and I said, okay, let's go and try this. Second night, third night, fourth night, did it the 4th night, no result. Doctor came in on the morning of the 4th night and said, you can go home. He said, whatever it is, your blood cells just went up. He said, your blood cells are normal. Your blood cells are normal. You were in sepsis before, and pretty much we weren't expecting you to live because of the way the infection spread upon your body. So you were better off dead, and you're not. And
wow.
So was it your white blood
Yeah,
cell count and an infection? I'm just trying to understand the
it was
illness.
a white blood cell count and
Okay.
infection. And so what
Okay.
happens is I went to Nigeria a couple of years before and caught malaria
Oh
and
wow.
had been living with malaria for several years.
Wow.
That so much it infected my body that my white blood cells were depleted.
Okay.
Kind of low.
And it's caused me what I just recently found out. I have chronic fatigue syndrome after having all that issues. So that was the problem. So if you sneezed around me, I would catch it. I would catch whatever you had. So
Wow.
dealing with communicable diseases in ICU with patients, I was catching whatever they had. So
Wow.
so I was a bubble boy.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay. Okay.
Wow.
That's a form of anemia, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
So I have to
Okay.
take folic acid and different things right now, and
Mm.
my red blood cells was going down low. I was like, "What the heck? Dead man walking."
Okay.
So
Wow.
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
Wow,
Profound.
that's miraculous. Listen, I've always talked about the power of dua, the power of prayer. It truly, truly works, and obviously you're a walking testament to that. Rashid, you got a question?
Yeah, I mean, just the anemia and under me understanding what it is. I mean, it's a miraculous thing to walk away or turn that around. You know, there's no strong medications you can take for that. Is usually a death sentence, as I understand. I'm not a doctor, but it just from what I understand of that. But your faith and your trust and your belief, your taqwa, your faith and trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in God, your sincere prayer, it feels like that's what got you over.
Absolutely, absolutely. And all of that happened to me go home to want to end my life.
Wow.
And so, yeah, because I mean, as soon as I came out of the hospital, I drove home and the whispers began to come to you, just leave because you're tired. You've been going through this battle for 5 years. Just go ahead and finish. You know, your daughter died. You can go on and join her. You know, you prayed to your pots and your pans and these are the shrines. They weren't helping you. Just go ahead and end it. It's over. And something said, get on TikTok. And I got on TikTok. I have been watching this guy, Maliki Click, for a couple of months. I've been watching quite a few TikTokers that were in the dean, and I was like, I wasn't impressed with a lot of people. I was like, okay, whatever. But this was a white guy, and I was racist, and I was like, this white.
I don't mean to laugh, but it's kind of funny.
So you know what's funny, Robert? I know Maliki Ali. I met him months ago, almost a year ago. He used to be on a Clubhouse. I don't know if you ever got the Clubhouse app. I met him there. So I used to talk to him like almost on a daily basis back when Clubhouse was popping. And I had the same reaction because actually, because I hadn't seen him before. Because in Clubhouse, there's no pictures. And then I started talking to him, and then so his story is very unique too because he is white. He's like he has from Norwegian background.
He's Norwegian, yes.
But he found Islam like brothers do. He went to jail.
Oh,
yeah, he went to jail.
All right.
Found
it in the prison.
I mean, he wasn't just in jail. He was like in prison.
Okay, but yeah, I would say found it in the prison. All right.
He was in
but
prison.
Anyway, so finish your story about your connection with him.
I was scrolling through TikTok. I have been watching him. I was like, okay, I like this guy. This white guy, he a cool white guy. I'm gonna give him a chance. I requested him. I never went on live in my whole entire life on TikTok. I've been on TikTok for 3 years. And I said, walk me through the Shahada. I've been watching you. And I took my Shahada June 27, 2023.
MashaAllah.
So that was after. So if I'm doing the math right, you took Shahada, and then after you did the four rockets of Tahajjud.
yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
I came to Islam after Tahajjud.
Okay. Gotcha.
So his first prayers was Tahajjud.
Yeah.
Who does that, right?
Who does that? Exactly.
Right.
Usually,
a whole backwards.
Yeah, people normally discover Tahajjud after being Muslim a year or so.
Yes, right.
Generally.
Wow.
Yeah.
I came the backwards way. I came through the back door.
Yeah, alhamdulillah.
Thank God it was open, right? Thank God
Allah opened that door. So hey.
So what has been the reaction from your family and your coworkers?
They've all reverted.
SubhanAllah, really? Wow, that's remarkable. So how was that? Like that was easy?
They were like, that was easy. They was like, oh, really? Oh, you one of the Muslims? Okay, well, you know what? We're gonna be the Muslims too.
Do you
Wow.
think it's your
It
character
was
or
easy.
something you said or something you did? I mean, if you really, really look at it, what was it about you that turned that or that you believe may have opened their hearts towards Islam?
I'm going to tell you what I tell people today. I was talking about dawah today.
Mm,
I live the dawah.
mm,
I don't preach at people. I just
mm,
live it.
right.
And I smile because of sunnah. And it some reason it tends to attract people. I was in a cancer treatment center for the last 8 weeks, uh, being treated for this chronic illness. And to answer your question, um, people will wonder why I was smiling, and these were stage 4 cancer people, and it
Right.
was an opportunity to do dawah. I was
Mm,
like, well, Allah,
mm,
huh? Your name is Rob. Yeah, my name is Rob. It's not Mohammed. It's not Rashid. It's Rob,
right.
and
Right.
I'm a
Right.
Muslim. And this is a good time to give you some dawah, and gave quite a few shahadas there. So what happens is
Wow.
with the family, they saw me, and it was like, yeah, you happy now because I was dealing with depression for years. You know, daughter died, dealing with depression, and there was like the light just came on. And it was like, we want that.
MashaAllah.
We want that.
MashaAllah.
Wow.
So my father, sister, stepmother, all of that. Yeah.
Wow. That's
And so,
incredible.
so all your immediate family in your immediate circle
Yes.
that
Yes.
following the example of the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, as soon as he received revelation, the very first thing he
Hmm.
did was give dawah to his family. So I applaud you, brother, for following that same example and for doing that.
Hmm. It was pretty hard because we were staunch Pentecostals now. We would fall around, bump your head, speak in tongues, and run around the church.
Mm. Well,
Yeah.
that brings me to another point. Being a Pentecostal, hopefully I'm saying
Pentecostal.
Pentecostal. Hmm.
Pentecostal, being heavily
Hmm.
involved in that, what is it about that faith that wasn't feeling that donut hole that made you eventually come over to Islam?
I had reached the pinnacle of being mentored by one of the top preachers in the United States, and questioning, why does my God have 3 heads?
Mm.
Whoa, okay. The Trinity?
Yeah.
Okay.
And what was the
Yeah.
answer?
Yeah, no.
And they couldn't really come to the conclusion of an answer. Even going to theology school, being a theologian, all this other stuff, we still couldn't get the answer. I was like, how is he one, but he's 3 different personalities? Oh, he's 3 beings. You're a triune person, and yeah, I'm a spirit, soul, and body. Okay, that still don't explain God.
Mm,
So who was God when Jesus was on earth, and who did he pray to when he was on earth? And then where did the Holy Spirit come from? Who he? So you got 3 men. You got the old man, the young man, and the dove, and I couldn't come to conclusion with that.
Father, Son, Holy Ghost.
Mm.
Right.
All right.
And that just didn't click. It didn't click in my mind, and they couldn't give me a satisfying answer. Nobody could. And so I said, "The heck with this! I'm going over to voodoo. At least I know these pots and pans can talk."
Right.
Oh my God.
They can make some
Um,
food.
so Brother Rob, so how was your journey then so far? Like what have you struggled with, and what have you found in the deen that's been easy for you?
I've struggled with Muslims.
Mm.
I've been tuck
How
feared a
so?
few times. I've been tuck feared a few times. I've been called the kafir a few times. I struggle with the Muslims but I'm part of the online community. So I'm part of the online community. So I deal with the haram police who live
Whoa,
in my
yeah.
lives every day, who sit and watch everything I do and want to correct me, and I just have to mute them. So that's the most I deal with every day. I dealt the first time I went to a masjid, I was knocked down. I was sick and I was being knocked down, and this brother ended up becoming my good friend. He didn't know that he was so deep in his prayer that he didn't realize he knocked me down.
Mm.
And so I dealt with so many different things. I'm a different person. I'm a little eloquent and animated in how I speak. So a lot of people can't take that very good. And so um, it's the nuances of the Muslim community. When I said I was a paradigm shift, people don't understand that I'm somebody that doesn't look like an average person that is coming into a religion where a lot of people do not know about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala themselves.
Mm,
And they have an idea because they were born, but they
right,
really don't know.
right.
And so I'm often astonished by the fact that people that want to tell you about Allah that don't know who Allah is. And so I'm kind of finding my way of just of teaching born Muslims who Allah is,
Right.
Oh, wow.
and that's the shock for me.
Yeah,
That's the
yeah,
shock for
yeah,
me.
yeah, yeah.
I'm like, you should be teaching me. I'm telling you that, Allah says that I am whoever my servant thinks I am, and He also says I'm ever who my servant expects me to be. And they're like, huh? Yeah, this is the Hadith say. So,
Right.
and in teaching them how to do dawah, and teaching them that dawah is a lifestyle. It's just not what you talk; it's what you do. It's how you walk in the room and you smile at people and you make them feel welcome. And so that is something that's new to me to understanding that. But then I realized why I had to go through what I went through to get to where I am now. Why I was a pastor, so I can, in some sense, almost pastoring people now in that sense of telling them and admonishing them, hey, this is who you are. This is what Islam is. This is the beauty of it. Why do we do wudu? We don't do wudu because there's a bunch of rules and regulations. We do it because there's the beauty and the terms and condition of your
Mm.
relationship with Allah. His name is pure. He's pure. So you have to come to him pure. So if you don't go to your husband or your wife with your breath stink, why are you going to Allah with your breath stink for?
Right. Why come?
Making
Don't
it
come with the
plain.
yeah. But one of the beautiful things or pieces of that, I think I think you realize that Islam is perfect, but human beings are not. So they will make their mistakes. And even though a person was born in a certain country, and they are Muslim, they see, just to keep it real, they see a Black person, and assume that they have to teach them everything or that they know everything, and you were able to see through that and to get through that. So I commend you on that, and also recognizing that it's your character and your being and who you are, that's going to turn people on to Islam, and that's the truth that's in your heart.
Absolutely. And we're beyond Bilal. May Allah be pleased with him, but I'm just not Bilal. No, I'm not Bilal.
Right.
I'm not going to be singing in your masjid and reading the Adhan. So
Right.
I'm more than that. So, and you deal with the racism that comes with it. You have people that call you slave, and I said, well, we're all slaves if you want to really talk about it. So, since you're a slave, you're talking out of turns because Allah didn't give you permission to tell you that.
Mhm.
So, but there's a beauty in it, and I look forward to growing more and more in the deen. I don't know exactly where Allah will be taking me, but I trust His plans to help even a lot of the born Muslims come to the realization of who they are and who He is, and how they can be light into the world as well. So that's my hope and journey, inshallah.
Inshallah. So like a follow up to that question. So,
Mhm.
what are your goals for the future? Where do you see yourself in the deen? Do you see yourself like as an imam or as a scholar, or just doing what you're doing in the TikTok world?
For some reason, people keep saying you're going to be a scholar and you're going to be a great sheikh. That's nice. Um, I think for me, after getting out of medical school and becoming a physician, I think I want to go into psychiatry because a lot of people are dealing with some traumas. If there's anything I really want to do in Islam is kind of offer some psychiatry because people are dealing with a lot of people had Islam beaten to them, and so there's a resentment there. And so if there's anything, probably an imam, maybe a scholar, maybe a da'i or something like that, maybe all three, but mostly some psychological work with people because they're really dealing with a lot of deep rooted trauma from growing up in Islam and looking at Allah as a judge and as a finger pointer and not understanding that He's mercy and compassion. And so I really want to work with a lot of Muslims on that because there's some trauma. There's a lot of trauma there, and they tend to lash out on us reverts because why are you so happy about Allah? Well, I get it. You've been traumatized. I understand, Pookie Poo. I get it.
Yeah, and there's a lot of truth in what you're saying because sometimes people are being told fear Allah, fear Allah, fear Allah, fear Allah, and that's it. And so they grow up with that. But the flip side of that is that we have hope in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as well. So dealing with that level of trauma is a good thing, and having the good character to where people can take that from you is it can be a difficult road, but it's a good road. It's a healthy road, and I think you have the character for that.
They fight me on a daily basis. I can say something in a chat, and I have the Haram police that want to correct me, and I'm like, mute, because you're not gonna ruin this moment for people. I mean, literally, I almost do a shahada almost every single day behind the message that's going forth. And I sometimes don't even know what I'm going to talk about until I get up that morning. But it's breaking. There's a chiseling that's happening, that people are chiseling their ideas of Allah and the negative things that they think about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala away as they're listening every day. And I'm starting to see people seeing results. And so the chat, the live is getting more popular. The videos, I don't even know if I'm going to do videos anymore because I spent so much time in my live. So but it's a good opportunity, and I really believe that inshallah, should I get through medical school, I'll be able to offer some psychiatry to brothers and sisters that really need to get free from deep root trauma that they've experienced in the religion as well. So hopefully.
Alhamdulillah. So I've been a Muslim over 20 some odd years. But just recently, I started making this daily connection with the Quran. Me and the group I'm with, we've been reading the Quran for like almost 2.5 years, and then we're on like 20 some odd reading. So my question to you is, like, what's your connection with the Quran? Like, when you first read it, was it a struggle? And then now when you read it, is it easier? And I think I know the answer, but you've definitely made a connection.
I had to fire my previous God in order to connect with the Quran, because I was seeing almost a parallel in "thou shalt not," and I said, "Well, let's change. Let's get out of this King James language and let's find a Quran that can speak plain, make it plain to me." I realized that the Quran is a book of instruction, and it's health. And what I started seeing is that this is whenever I need to hear from Allah in the quickest way that I can perceive, I'm going to open the Quran. I have my relation with the Quran every morning. This is, what are you saying? What are we going to talk about today, Allah? What you got? What do you have to instruct me about? Okay, so I need to work on this. Okay, I need to understand compassion. I need to understand love and mercy towards people. Okay, don't be so quick to be angry. Okay, understand why the book is here. The book is here for your instruction. Read it, meditate on it, but apply it, live it. And so that is my relationship with the Quran, is understanding that these are the words from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to me that I can put in my heart. I don't not memorize it, but put it in my heart. Because anything that can be put in your head can be taken away, but we're saying your heart is in you. And so when I have the times of need, them verses, them ayahs just come up, and it's like, okay.
Yeah.
I ain't gotta go crazy. I ain't gotta go crazy and tear somebody up because they ticked me off today. Okay.
Yeah.
Keep your nuffs.
The beauty in that is that the Bible, although a beautiful book in sort of the Old Testament, it's in a story format. It's like a story of an individual, and that's the way it's laid out. But the Quran is not like that. You can read 3 pages and it's on one thing, and read another 2 pages and it shifts to something else. So waking up every morning and just making dua, saying, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, what you got for me today? Because Islam is a lifestyle, and just opening up that book and just seeing what he wants to give you. So what was the biggest challenge when shifting from the story format to the format of the Quran?
Oh, it was like, what the heck is this? Because this is too bold. This is too front and center for me right now. I'm like, okay, once upon a time, Jesus walked upon the hill. Allah is like, look, I sent my angel down there and I sent my message to you, and you better get it together. What I love about Allah is he comes forth. He's a God that got confidence.
To the point.
Versus the other God was like, well, sometimes I'm angry, sometimes I'm not. I'll destroy the world. No, get straight. Allah is straight to the point. Just give it to me straight. Don't give me no fluff. Just give it to me straight. This is what it is. Surah Al-Mulk is one of my favorites. It's the law. It's like being in a courtroom. It's literally, you're in a courtroom. You understand what Allah said. This is that, and that. And I like that. Give me that. Don't give me no fluffy stuff. Give me the straight point. But you can see the love and the compassion in the ayahs. You can see the love and compassion. You can understand that he's loving and compassionate. He's confident. He's confident who he is. He says what he means, and he means what he says. And hold me to my words. Hold me to what I said. Keep what I said. And here's the success for you. I'm not giving you these rules because I'm just mean and I'm surly and I'm constipated. No, I'm giving you this because this is a guide to your life. This is what I gave to guide you. And if you keep this guidance, you will be on the straight path at all times, and you never have to worry about anything else. I like that kind of God. I know what the terms and conditions are. The other one, he was bipolar.
Yeah, and
so go ahead.
I'm sorry. No, go ahead.
No, go ahead, Rashid. No, go ahead.
Oh, it was something you had said in there, and okay. Well, first, Surah Mook is a beautiful surah, and one we're encouraged to read every single morning. And so that's one thing that's beautiful about it. And the Quran, to me, it's all about submission, and that's almost what I'm hearing you say. Is like when you read it, just submit to it, and if you have some questions about it, that's okay, but just go with it. Just have trust, have faith, and submit, and it's okay. Just move forward.
I've learned that everything pans out. You find out in your relationship with Allah why things are the way they are. And at first I thought Islam was just a bunch of rules. Rules. Don't eat pork. I can't eat no pork chop no more. Don't do this, and don't smoke, don't drink. There's a reason why these things happen. It's scientifically proven why these things happen. Why do we do voodoo? We do voodoo. What voodoo is hygienic. It's the most hygienic thing in the world. You're cleaning your nose. You got boogers and everything up your nose every day. You're breathing everybody's skin and all this other stuff. Why do we wash our mouth? Because we talk and sometimes things fly in our mouth. We're cleaning our mouths out. Why do we wash our hands up to our elbows and our feet? All these things happen for a reason, and these are hygienical things given to us, but it's also to keep us purified, because every time you voodoo, you're washing off sin, you're washing off different things. There's a reason. And so when you say Islam, it means submitting to the will of Allah. And so it's a lifestyle of submission. It's surrender. If I can put Islam into one small definition, I'm going to take it actually from the Bible. Acknowledge God in all of his ways, and he shall direct your path. That's it.
So, as I mentioned before with our sister Megan, who is now the big sensation of the day, and I'm sure she's been getting some flack from the Haram police as well.
Big flack.
But may Allah make it easy for her and make her journey easy and keep her firm. But so what advice would you give to people on the fringe looking in and thinking they might want to jump into the pool of Islam?
I'd say jump in. The first thing, I'll give you the advice that the Prophet ﷺ gave to Ma'ad when he went down to Yemen. First, learn who Allah is and the oneness of Allah is. Just learn who Allah is. Learn his characteristics, what he likes, what he don't like. Learn his what he loves, what he acquires of you, what he expects of you. Learn that first. Then learn how to pray. Then learn Zakat. Then learn Hajj and all this other stuff. Just learn who he is first, because there's a problem with praying to someone that you don't know. You pray to a stranger, you're not going to have no faith. Right. But if you know who you're praying to, you're going to have faith and you're going to pray with all your heart. You're going to show up in your prayer life because you know who he is versus who you think he is. Knowing comes from knowledge. Knowledge is only by experience. And experience, you got to learn, you got to read who he is. He has 99 names. You have 99 problems, find out what the 99 names that meet them 99 problems. Get Tawheed and all these different things. Learn everything you want to about him, and then learn how to pray. And that will satisfy you. That will suffice you, because you're going to be more and more hungry. Like, okay, now I know who he is. Now I'm going to pray now. Now I want to really pray, because now my relationship is building because I know who he is. And that's the work for me. I came through the back way, through prayer, to only be here now, because I had to know who he was and experience. He's my healer. But now I needed to learn who his characteristics were before I started praying. And that's why I'm so strong in prayer to this day, because of knowing who he is, that intimacy. He's closer to you than your jugular vein. And that you can only be close to somebody with their jugular vein unless you have intimacy with them. So I tell you, learn intimacy with Allah first, then learn how to pray.
And I think that's absolutely good news, because anyone I've ever known that just became Muslim, and you have to match it on a Friday and someone takes Shahada, that's the thing I want to whisper in their ear. Take everything aside, but learn your prayer. Learn your prayer, because once you establish that connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala through your prayer, even if it's in English in the beginning, that you learn Arabic as time comes, but don't overdo the pressure on that. But
Right.
establish that connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and ask for stuff, ask for anything. And when you start to see those little things be revealed, that's when the connection happened. And that's when all the other things come along. But man, I'm really impressed that you have learned so much. I mean, I hear a lot coming from you, and you picked up on so much about this deen in a short amount of time. SubhanAllah.
Yeah, and it's, it's based on wisdom. I know when I came into the faith, I struggled because I didn't really know who Allah was, and I was trying to get these prayers in, and so I struggled. But now, of course, with my new teacher, he's told us to basically say that work on your prayer, but what you gotta do is get to know Allah first, and once you know Allah, everything else should come easy, so to speak.
Yes.
So we did that. So my other question was, have you done? I know you're new Muslim, but have you thought about or have you been to Umrah or Hajj yet?
Inshallah, 2024. That is my next plan. The plan was Umrah, then marriage. I really, and then that's another advice I give people before you get married, because they always trying to get revert to married off really quickly.
Or change your name.
Know your Lord, or change your name. Know your Lord first before you marry anybody, because that person can leave you, and what you got after that. So, Umrah is 2024, inshallah, and then after that, maybe marriage after that. If not, I'm good because I'm going to medical school. I ain't got time for all that. So,
inshallah,
me and Brother Rashid were talking offline the other day, and we're making the intention for Umrah in 24. So may Allah allow all of us to go.
Well, 25.
Okay, 20. Yeah, that's right. 25 is right around the corner. So, so 25, inshallah. I wanted to touch on a minute about the Haram police, because I think this is the big deal. And when I saw Megan Rice interview, she was saying that the Haram police came after her and even said that she would have to take off. She just took her shahada recently, but she said she was advised to take her hijab off for every video that she's ever done previously. And she just became Muslim recently, and she has a lot of followers. And that's, I don't know, I think that's a little extreme. So touch on for me the danger of the Haram police and how more gentle, if that's a word, people should be when trying to share knowledge.
We have to first. The Prophet ﷺ said this. He said, "If you're going to give advice, don't embarrass anybody publicly." And that's the first thing they're doing. So a lot of people say there's sunnah, but they don't really practice sunnah when they really want to. People don't really understand the dangers of how you can put somebody over the edge. I almost thought about leaving Islam a few times. The first night I became a Muslim, the next day I was takfired, and I had a certain group of brothers of a certain minhaj that told me I wasn't good enough to be a Muslim. Go ahead and leave. We don't care.
Wow.
That's
we got some really mean spirited people. And half of them are people. I don't think some I think are some I think are Zionists. Some I think are people who are Muslim by culture, but not in heart. And then you have a small percentage of people who just genuinely want to give you advice. They see you, they just genuinely want to give you advice. So it's a mixture of a certain group of non-Muslims, Muslims, and people who are just culturally Muslim that just sit around and policing people all day, but never make any content or anything like that. I say this to anybody: you need to know who Allah is for you, because you get caught up in a mix, and you'll get in your feelings, and you'll get boo-hooed, but you'll never be able to please anybody, even when you're doing the right thing. You can't be a people pleaser. You can't be pleaser. As much as as gentle as I am with people, as kind as I am with people, as much as I smile, it's never going to be enough for people, because these people have a seat of judgment that they sit in, and they believe that they've arrived to a place that they can tell you about your life that they don't practice themselves. And so my advice is know Allah for yourself. Build a community of people that can gird you up and guard you and help you, and stay in your community and understand that you're not going to please everyone. And that's okay. It's not your business.
SubhanAllah.
Not your business.
That's deep.
So Rashid and I both belong to a reverts organization. It's called Embrace, which is
Mm-hmm.
by ICNA. And I also am a member of Mass Rewords Reconnect, which is here in New York, which actually we're expanding. But nevertheless, so yeah, I think, when I first took my Shahada some 20 years plus, that was my problem. I didn't have a good group of people around me, like-minded people, reverts mostly, in particular, who could help guide me. So, I was going to this person, going to that person. I was all over the place, and I was like, I'm just through. You know what I'm saying? This is just not working for me.
Yeah.
And then you got the judgments by the other people, the born Muslims and the foreign born Muslims, and they're like looking at you side eye while they're running the bodega, selling all sorts of stuff, and gonna tell you about what's right and what's wrong. So yeah, like you, Brother Rob, yeah, I would tell my new brothers and sisters, my new converts, yeah, you gotta build a community, attach yourself to a community, and stay in the company of good people.
You do.
You were gonna say something, Rashid?
Yeah, on the community side, that's so true. I feel very blessed in that when I took my Shahada, the community that I went to, they had just started how to pray classes. So I was involved with that. And some of the brothers are very kind and gentle. I used to wear, I'll give an example. I used to wear earrings. I didn't know in Islam that a man couldn't wear earrings. But finally, one of the brothers, and he and I are still good friends to this day, and the one who even led the Salat class, best friends. Well, I mean, that's my homie. That call him my Sahaba. But came up to me and just like, hey, brother, just, the earrings, that's not something really that you should do. And he was very kind and gentle about it and didn't beat me over the head about it. And I always reflect on that, because if someone had come hard and harsh, I might have left that masjid. God only knows, but the Prophet took people under his wing, and he was always kind to folks and was encouraged not to be mean-spirited to people. And that's what helped them latch on to him. So being a part of a community is key. And I know sometimes it's not easy in all cities, but if you can find one, right? If you can find one, go.
I would say this to people: if you respect the Sahaba, you should respect the reverts, because the Sahaba were all reverts.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
I always try to remind people that they, I'm not saying,
They were all reverts.
I'm not saying we're on the same level with the Sahaba, but I'm saying we're reverts.
No.
Like
we're reverts.
Like right. we chose this. We weren't born to this. We chose this for ourselves. Right. So, so you gotta give us a little leeway and give us a little time. And of course, the Prophet got, revelation for 23 years. No one's expecting anybody to take Shahada on Monday and be a Hafiz or Imam on Friday, because it's not possible.
But they do. Some people really do.
Yeah, but that's crazy.
I call express Muslims. A lot of the former ex-Muslims that I know of were trying to do everything in 1 year. And it's like, what are you doing? Like, slow down. It's not that deep. It's deep, but it's not that deep for you to be accelerating at this motion. You need to take this really slow and really understand, know the ins and outs. Some sisters are not ready to wear hijabs and things of that nature. Some people are not ready to, to wear. Depending on, I'm from Brooklyn, so I'm a New Yorker. So
are you?
Some people are just not ready. Yes, I'm from Coney Island, and we're a little wild out there, and there's just certain habits that I'm still trying to get away from, because I grew up in the streets of Coney Island. So there's just some things that if I'm doing the same thing next year, then I want you to check me. But I'm only months in this. Calm down.
Right.
Exactly.
Give a person time to learn. Give them time to learn, and not only gain that knowledge, but the wisdom, meaning acting upon that knowledge.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. I didn't know you were a New Yorker, because, like I said, I'm in New York. I'm in Long Island now. I'm soft now because I'm out the burbs. But I lived in the Bronx for a little while. My wife's from Harlem.
Okay.
So,
well, I got to give it up to the West Side. I'm from Cali, so I got to give it up to the West
Side. So that's no wonder I'm drawn to you. You're a New Yorker. That's what it is.
Small love.
That's beautiful. You got any more questions, Rashid, or we want to close out?
No. Go ahead and close out.
So Brother Rob, this is your last. You're not your last, but just if you want to close it up, any other points you want to talk about, any closing. You just say whatever's on your heart.
The best thing I can say is really know Allah for yourself. You will fall madly. I don't care if you're a man or a woman. We will fall madly in love with Allah once you know who he is and what he means to you. Grasp upon that revelation, get a revelation, ask him for a revelation to show you who he is and through his attributes and everything. And you will never walk away from this religion once you have that assurance that Allah is great. We say Allahu Akbar for a reason. Find out what that reason is.
Allahu Akbar.
Allahu Akbar. I guess if I had a thought as a closing thought, it's just to Brother Rob and to all the Muslims, including myself out there. May Allah keep our feet firm in his path and help us never fall into disbelief as we've been guided. And may we all die as Muslims. I'll just end it with that.
Amen.
So I want to thank you, Brother Rob, for blessing us with your presence. It was a pleasure. Hopefully we can do it again.
Absolutely.
Maybe you can do it on TikTok in the future. That would be awesome.
Oh yeah, that would be awesome. Yeah.
Rashid and I just got on TikTok. I mean, I've been on a little longer than he has. I've been on maybe a week and a half. He just got on a little while ago, so we're still trying to figure it out.
Okay.
So inshallah, we will be reaching out to you, or you can reach out to us, and we'll reconnect with you. That would be great. Inshallah. So we'll close out. Subhanaka wa hamdika wa ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta wa astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik. Oh, I'm sorry. One question. One other thing. I forgot the fundraiser. So for you and for all our listeners and viewers, we have a link for a Mass Reverse Reconnect, which we spoke about earlier. They have a special launch good campaign where they're raising money to send reverts to Mecca and Medina for Umrah. So if you click on the link, you can donate. You can helps donate a trip for a brother or sister, and just think about it as a sadaqah jariyah, continuing charity. Whatever they do over there, whatever good deeds they do over there, you'll get that credit. So please click on the link and help send some of our revert brothers and sisters for the first time to Umrah, which has happened to me last year, earlier this year. And so we want to keep that going. Please donate. Please click the link. Please check us out. Yes, and then we'll close out. So I'm sorry. Subhanaka wa hamdika wa ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta wa astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik. والأصل لا فيكوس إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thanks for joining us. Peace out.
Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Alaikum assalam, brother.